Every day, there are an estimated 150 to 200,000 stray roaming animals on the streets of San Antonio, the majority in desperate need of food, shelter, medical care, and most of all, a home to call their own. But thanks to the medical program at the Animal Defense League, Sasha Fierce, pictured here, represents just one of the nearly 6,000 pets we were able to provide a better future for last year. And with your help, we will successfully treat, care for, and ultimately provide a happily ever after for far more. Every animal which enters our program receives the highest level of care. This entails a full medical exam that 68% of the time finds an animal requires additional medical intervention beyond basic spay and neuter services. Our medical team must document every detail, from diagnostic results and treatment plans to surgical procedures through to recovery. Our current system is tedious, and it requires our medical professionals transcribe all associated details using a physical record comprised of over 60 fields, only to be recorded again manually within our shelter database at a later time. The time lost due to this redundant system slows movement, and it forces animals to wait additional days to enter our program, and even longer to be made available for adoption. A more efficient, one-and-done method for data input will free up over 4,000 employee hours each year to save the lives of more pets and unite them with their forever homes sooner. Simply put, automation of our processes increases our ability to save lives. An IT infrastructure for real-time data entry will reduce our prep care chain for healthy pets from 6 to 3 days. And as a result, this will increase our life-saving capacity by 280 animals over baseline in the first year, 575 in the second, and an astounding 875 additional animals over baseline in year 3. So as a result, we will save the lives of more pets, as they will no longer be waiting in kennels for already compiled data to be entered into our database. The only rising cost tied to this life-saving increase will be that of medical supplies and treatments. Virtually all other expenses will remain unchanged as our output increases. Our skilled medical staff will be able to reallocate the 4,000 hours of recovered time to focus more on improving the lives of these homeless pets and preparing them for their future with their forever families. And we project that by year 3, we will see a 29% decrease in cost per animal over base year, equating to 142,570 fewer donor dollars needed to fund our programs throughout this timeline. We are asking for $53,000 to fund IT infrastructure improvements, purchased hardware, and to cover the cost of training and implementation facilitated by an industry professional. Our past performance shows that we can better accomplish our goals by integrating technology into our daily processes, and with your help, we will accomplish them more efficiently and better serve our community. Our dedicated team will ensure that every dog or cat that enters our program is made available for adoption, able to find their happily ever after and their forever home as soon as possible. That's a great question. These are certainly unprecedented times for all industries, but especially those that are providing essential services to the animals. And really what I'll share with you is that we were able to leverage technology quickly by taking decisive action. And all of our animals that we had within our programs were made available online through albums on our website. And we also then integrated a technology where people could actually register for an appointment time to meet any animal they were interested in. And we were able to facilitate the open air adoption process because we're fortunate to have a 12-acre campus. So we felt confident in moving forward in a limited capacity to continue placing animals and ensuring those in other shelters had the opportunity to have live outcomes. So ultimately what we did is we leveraged technology to, although in a reduced capacity, maintain our adoptions. We did, however, see some attrition in revenue streams, such as we stopped elective surgeries for owned pets, for trapped, there's what's called the TNR program, where cats are brought in, they're trapped, we sterilize and then return back into the community. And then we also typically have what's called a wellness program, where we offer low-cost services to the community. But as we were, as being an essential services provider, we were only able to really continue operations in a very basic fashion. And so that was to ensure that animals that were in peril in the streets were provided a safe haven, and then we were able to place those animals to continue bringing in more animals. So it did impact us in some negative fashions. It certainly did. We certainly saw attrition within certain revenue streams that we won't get back this year. So that is one area that it has caused I would say, a detriment to our financial position. However, we are proud of the fact that we were able to take quick, decisive action and leverage technology to continue offering life-saving services to these animals. So one of the unique aspects of our proposal is actually the economic analysis tied to this. So really what we're proposing is a compounding growth scenario of 5% in rescue volume year over year. And one of the unique aspects of this specific approach is that when we look at the general cost of goods to accomplish this objective, really, we are only seeing one area of increased cost, and that's marginal. And that's going to be within our supplies, within our medical program. And we equate that to only being about 1.2%. So other traditional areas of growth, say tied to facilities, labor, marketing, those will all remain static. And the really great part is what ends up happening is our outflow, it always matches our inflow. So what that means is that if we can produce a 5% increase in rescue volume to save these animals wonderful lives, that correlates to a 5% adoption volume increase. And that's a revenue generator for our organization. So that 5% increase as a compounding factor greatly offsets our 1.2% marginal cost increase. Now, the really interesting part is that as a nonprofit, we operate with a gross margin loss each year. And based on our calculations, really what we're looking at is reducing from our baseline year an operating margin loss of 628,000, and we will actually see that reduce down to approximately 485,000 by the end of the third year. And the reality is that if this proves to be successful, and we're absolutely confident it will, that trajectory has the potential to continue into future years, further stabilizing our organization. You know, other areas of cost and consideration, such as SG&A, that'll remain static at $130,000 per year. And also when we look at our OPEX, our operating expenses, those remain pegged at $60,000 per year. So really what we're doing is we're growing our adoption revenue through volume at a rate of 5%, while only seeing a 1.2% increase within our cost of goods. So it's a really phenomenal program. It saves more lives. It stabilizes our organization. We're in our 86th year. This is going to help us make it to our centennial. And the most important thing, though, is it gets those animals into homes, and it helps our community even further.